Motshekga speaks out against calls for her dismissal, and Mdluli and Brechtenbach to challenge their suspensions at the Labour Court. I'm Lebo Changela with this news update. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga says those who are calling for her dismissal should seek what she terms more constructive ways of dealing with the textbook crisis in Limpopo. The DA wants the relationship between her and book distributing company Edu Solutions investigated. It alleges that Motshekga's department has spent over 96 million rand unnecessarily to pay Edu Solutions. The DA also says it will write to Public Protector Tuli Madonsela to question why investigations into the company are taking so long to complete. The company allegedly has a history of fraud and incompetence. Motshekga says she did not influence the award of the contract.
I have no relationship with Edu Solutions except that it is a service provider for government. When I went into Limpopo under Section 101B, the contract had already been awarded by the province to Edu Solutions. So I had nothing to do with the contract and the awarding of the contract to Edu Solutions by the Limpopo provincial government. When we went into the province, we found that the province had already compiled an order for books with their service provider.
Suspended Crime Intelligence boss Richard Mdluli and suspended NPA head of Specialized Commercial Crime Unit Glenys Brechtenbach will today challenge their suspensions at the Labour Court in Johannesburg. On Thursday, Brechtenbach argued that the NPA had ulterior motives when it suspended her. She believes her suspension is an attempt to protect Mdluli. The NPA denies this. Mdluli is challenging his suspension after the court granted an order lifting his suspension earlier this month, but subsequently ruled in favor of the police service to uphold the sanction. The SABC's Abongile Dumako has more on the Mdluli case.
After Mkhwanazi suspended Mdluli last month, Mdluli took his suspension to the Labour Court in an urgent application to have it overturned. When lawyers for the police didn't pitch for the hearing, the court reinstated Mdluli. But the police lawyers later argued that they had not been properly notified of the appearance, and the matter ended up in the Labour Court again, where Mdluli's suspension was reinstated. The matter again reached the Labour Court last week for Judge Van Niekerk to hear arguments from Mdluli's lawyers as to why they say his suspension is unlawful. They argue that Mdluli never received notice for his suspension and it's unlawful. A ruling is expected later this morning. Abongile Dumako, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The ANC has conceded in its strategy paper that it has not succeeded in effectively dealing with factionalism and indiscipline. It says the decay needs to be stopped before it becomes irreversible. The paper says the ANC needs to change from a resistance movement to an effective governing party that succeeds in deepening democracy. The ANC's National Conference in Polokwane in 2007 and National General Council in 2010 identified renewal as critical to its survival. The 2012 discussion document continues the debate. Meanwhile, President Jacob Zuma has emphasized the need for the party's second transition as contained in a discussion document to be presented at the policy conference. He says those who question the idea should come up with alternatives.
And therefore, the second transition is the thing for us to look at. Those who say the second transition is not right, what is the alternative? They must produce the alternative. I don't care with people who just sit and criticize every day, have no alternative for our people. Why should we waste time with them? We must waste time with the people who need their lives to be changed.